hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yachts.
Please forgive me, my voice is still squashed from last week.
And the American Scooter Dust.
What you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh, that's from a movie.
And it was a good
Billy Madison.
There you go.
It was a good week for Wrestling With, as we interviewed Green Phantom on Tuesday and Crystal Rose on Wednesday. Two incredible interviews, two vets of the business. Definitely go into the archives if you haven't already checked them out. This upcoming Tuesday we have Leon Savo. Incredible interview, Canadian from Canada. Wrestled Gangrel in the rain. Talk about dramatic matches. Recently wrestled Mustafa Ali. We talk about that. His relationship with Sexy Eddie, and a hell of a lot more. A very enjoyable conversation, to say the least. And this upcoming Wednesday, we have Reese Ramon. We talk about wrestling and life balance. We talk about wrestling the Undead Bride Su Yung, and maybe even having a cameo in the Macy's Day Parade. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips now. You mentioned the match with Gangrel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it actually rained during your match, no?
Yes, it was a pouring rain during that show, which was called Golden Opportunity 14, which was at Stade Connect, where I'll be in action on August 23rd. It was raining during the show, and it was an outdoor show, and we were looking at the fact that could we possibly do the show the next day. But then the next day, myself and Gangrel were booked on another show in Montreal, so we had to travel down in Montreal after that, which is about a 3-hour drive. So it was a very complicated to fix everything out. So finally, we ended up still doing the show. We got the canvas cleaned up a little bit. Still slippery a little, but it was still a fun experience to do a match with Gangrel in that the pouring rain, which was kind of like adding a special effect to the match, if we could say that.
Right.
But yeah, it was very fun.
Wrestling a vampire in the rain.
Yeah, I actually brought a cross with me just to make sure that he didn't bite me. We had garlic ready, and he just slapped it right off, so I doubt that he's a real vampire.
Can you tell us about that time you ranked the Tri-State Walmarts?
Oh my god. How deep did you go through my stuff?
I do my research.
For anyone that doesn't know me, I live in the tri-state area of where Marshall University is. It's in the tri-state area of Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. And there's a very clear distinction between the level and caliber of Walmart. The Ashland and South Point Walmarts are really nice. I probably didn't rank them up there. I know I definitely probably ranked Ashland way too high than what it deserved to be, which is sad. But I was 18 and knew nothing better.
All right, and then on the 20th we have Drea Mitchell. On the 21st, Alex Mays. On the 26th, Finn Corso. On the 27th, Andrew Cass. 28th, Johnny Pierce. September 3rd, Emilian Lewis. The 4th, Corvus. And on the 11th, Nico Klein. So all of our interviews for August coming up, and even a little bit of September as well. Alright, I think we're done putting ourselves over. No, Scooter?
I'd say so, but I don't think there's anything that's putting ourselves over too much.
Correct. That being said, we are wrestling with the news, and it is not a great day for wrestling as we lost a legend of this business. The one Kevin Sullivan has unfortunately passed, I believe, as of yesterday.
Yes, as of yesterday, the age of 74. And God, that's you know, we we mentioned him being having health issues. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago.
It was a couple of weeks ago, definitely.
Yeah, and to just see it now is, God, it's surreal. I mean, especially when you consider, yeah, Kevin Sullivan, probably one of the most unsung heroes in professional wrestling when it comes to behind the scenes.
Oh yeah. He was booker for WCW back in, I want to say, 2001. 2001. Went on to work for TNA, WWE. And he actually, I think he wrote a couple of books as well. For WWE specifically.
He did film. He's on a lot of the A&E discussions, the Legend series, the biography series. Usually when it comes to talent that came out of the Gulf Coast or Florida, Southeast, that was Sullivan's territory. And the man's record is nothing to sneeze at, because when you take into account how tall Kevin Sullivan actually was, he wasn't tall. He was not a tall man. In fact, I believe he only had a couple of inches on me. Oddly enough, I have a Kevin Sullivan story that's not really that exciting, but I ran into him at the Museum of Natural History in Manhattan. That's the end of that story.
He was billed as 5'9".
Yeah, and yeah, that's not terribly big for a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Especially in the late in the 70s, early 80s.
That's correct. That would be right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kevin Sullivan is the perfect example, I would say, of someone who knows how to use booking power and not let it go to his head.
Well, he did it for a very long time at a high level.
Yeah, and the biggest and really the biggest issue of his entire career was something associated by a proxy.
Give or take.
I mean,
Coleco? Oh, yeah.
I'll say Benoit.
Yeah, but don't
but,
necessarily have to go into that.
yeah.
Coleco, your thoughts on the passing of Kevin Sullivan?
I mean, shoot, Scooter said it the most. I think he's unsung probably one of the most unsung guys, right? To me, I got to see him from Georgia Championship Wrestling and NWA, and then he had a couple stints in USWA, Jerry Lawler and them. So to me, that's where I got my introduction, and that was when he was kind of doing more of the cult leader type of gimmick. You can make the argument he was kind of like Bray Wyatt before Bray Wyatt, in a sense.
Well, I mean, considering that he used to run with Mike Rotundo in the Varsity Club.
Oh yeah. So I mean, and it was crazy because I was just in freaking Cleveland, and we were just, when you go to these WrestleCons, and I tell people, like, man, just take advantage and talk with these people, man, because these people will give you stories for days about like the intricacies of like the business and even like what happened in your childhood, man. And it just sucks. I never got the chance to meet him at one of these, at like a WrestleCon. I wish I did. And I remember we were talking about his health, and I was hoping that he pulled through, but you know, it just kind of sucks. You know, I mean, at least he lived a life. So at least I could, you know, it sucks that he's gone and no longer with us, but he put his all into pro wrestling, man. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, condolences to the family, and he got his quarter's worth on this earth, like I tell people.
I mean, he lived till 75, which is, you know, kind of, for that generation of pro wrestlers, is kind of unheard of, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, especially, you know, given everything that went on. And again, I stick by my statement. Sullivan was probably one of the worst squeaky clean guys.
Really?
Because Sullivan wasn't out, doing bumps of coke and spending time with strippers and hookers and hooking strippers and Kevin Sullivan was a man absolutely devoted to his craft, to this business, but he also had an evolving understanding of where it was going. And I think the greatest example of this is, why did we never see a one-on-one match between him and Hogan? Because Sullivan knew it would probably be terrible.
Well, I mean, that never stopped Hulk Hogan from entering
And
the before.
considering that it was in the really the last years of Sullivan's really active years, I always wondered, and that may or may not come up in a future discussion about dream matches, but the God, his CV, his list of accomplishments is it's insane. It's unprecedented.
Oh yeah.
And I'll run off some of these just really quickly. Some of the ones that stand out. NWA Florida Tag Team Championship 4 times. 3 with Mike Graham, 1 with Haystacks Calhoun.
Oh wow.
And Haystacks Calhoun was a big motherfucker, man. And of course, Kaliko mentioned, Georgia, the Junior Heavyweight Championship, Georgia Tag Team Championship with Tony Atlas, all over the Gulf Coast as well. Ken Lucas is a constant in there. as well. In 2 Hall of Fames, not included in WWE Hall of Fame. NWA Hall of Fame in 2015, New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2013, which I kind of find very interesting, considering New England wasn't exactly
His territory.
yeah. Numerous PWI accolades as well. Former WCW Tag Team Champion with Cactus Jack. Former ECW Tag Team Champion with Taz.
Yeah.
Also, one of the few men to hold the other tag team titles, technically in WCW and WWE, the United States tag team titles, with Dr. Death, Steve Williams, so much. And keep in mind, this is all outside of the WWE. Yeah, Sullivan did have about 2 runs when in the WWF. I don't want to say he didn't get over, but he was still finding his footing. As he would transition into the late 70s,
Right.
early 80s, to see the bulk of his success.
We could honestly do a whole episode
Yes,
when it comes
we really
to
could.
the legacy of Kevin Sullivan. But we will maybe keep it at
Yeah.
thoughts and prayers to the friends and family of Kevin Sullivan. Alright, going into, news of pro wrestling, it is almost but all confirmed that the Lucha Bros, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, will be WWE bound sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Penn hasn't gone to paper quite yet, but they did give their notice to AEW.
Another name you can add to that list
Ricky Starks?
as well. Yep.
Yeah. I kind of
Yep, you might as well just go and throw it all in lump sum.
Well, I kind of figured that after he wasn't factored into plans for All In. So, yeah. We'll get to Ricky Starks in a moment. What do you think? What kind of damage could the Lucha Bros do in WWE, Scooter?
That is kind of a double-edged sword, because the Lucha Bros.
You're staticky, Scooter.
Oh, nah. That's funny. You guys don't have staticky at all.
I mean, it's.
That.
Oh, there you go. Oh no.
There you go. Okay. What?
Yeah, you're really statically. Like I could barely hear you.
Test.
Better.
Okay. How about now?
Yes. 100%.
Okay. All right. Crap. Yeah, they didn't. They're not a WWE creation. So, yeah. WWE doesn't have the greatest track record with luchador talent that did come up in the company themselves. Ray being the exception. It would be interesting to see if that built-in fanhood transfers over as well, because they had a catchy intro. I also want to know if this includes Alex Abrahantes.
Probably not.
I mean, given how short commentary teams are these days, I wouldn't be surprised if Abrahantes you find a seat at the Spanish announce table.
Quite possible.
He clearly wouldn't be going into the Phoenix would not be going in with the name Ray. Clearly. Could a faction? Should they even be part of a faction?
That's what I was gonna mention when I got to my thoughts on the Lucha Bros, but
Right. Well, you know what? I think that's a perfect transition.
like you said, it's a double-edged sword. They could do great shit with Lucha Bros. I could even see, one-on-one, Penta Cody, Penta Roman, Penta Owens, Penta Orton. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and they'd all be dream matches. Penta is one of those great, singles wrestlers that doesn't necessarily get put on that pedestal. And, Ray can be, pretty good himself. But if they're just going to add them to the telenovela portion of WWE programming, just lump them with the other Mexican talent, what is it called? Not
Super Juniors? Legado del Fantasma?
Yes. And what they're doing with Andrade, then then why even bring them at that point? Like, there's so many good possibilities, but if that's what you're going to do with them, then why even bring them? That's my opinion on it. But I kind of feel like they're going to immediately put them against Phantasma.
I'm kind of thinking maybe Impact, maybe TNA is actually the best place for them.
Well, from what I heard, they're going to the main roster. They're not going down to NXT.
Oh God, I don't know if I want to believe that.
It's a part of the negotiations, but we've been talking a lot. Kaliko, what's your thoughts on Lucha Bros coming to WWE?
I just hope they don't throw them in the typical Spanish LWO, Legado del Fantasma. Honestly, since they split the belts, the tag team needs depth. So it would be good for them to have a thing on their own as a tag team, personally. Either brand is desperate for it. Judgment Day, Raw maybe not so much because of the Judgment Day storyline, but SmackDown for sure would like to have it. Even though they have the bloodline with it, but you could see Lucha Bros and the Profits. You could see
Lucha Bros DIY.
Yeah, exactly. So you got some teams there where they can tear the house down, trying to build themselves as the number one contender.
So, do you think that they're actually going to do that, or are they just going to add them, like I said, to the telenovela portion of the programming?
You mean the Univision portion?
Yes.
The Telemundo?
BT en Espanol?
Honestly, it would make sense for them to do their own thing, because you don't want it. It's not like It's not like what's the hell is it's not like Angel Garza and Old Buddy. You know, they kind of needed Legado del Fantasma. I I don't think they need it. I don't think they need the Univision portion.
Well, let us not forget that, at one point, you know, Tongaloa was, part of the Latino World Warrior because he was Hunico.
No, Hamacho.
Camacho, that's it. You see, that's how terrible it is. I can't tell them apart. Keep in mind the last time the WWE had a stable with the term lucha in its title.
Was a house party.
Lucha House Party. Mucha Lucha.
And
It's a brand new town.
the parents came home early, and that party was ruined.
It wasn't exactly Project X.
Or that matter, it wasn't Project A through W either.
Don't you remember the movie? Wasn't it called Project X?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, about that stupid rave found foot.
Weirdly enough, that didn't take place too far from where I actually live in real life.
Well, hopefully it gets taken out in a wildfire. There's so much potential, but I mean, Penta, I can see succeeding on his own. I see Ray Phoenix. I see Phoenix taking a couple of years to get over, and I don't think that would work to his benefit. And I really don't want him working those stupid 3-minute speed matches.
Oh, I think that's actually perfect for him. Honestly, I think people will when they first see them, they'll say, "Hey, Kalisto's back."
Or for Angelico.
Yeah, one of those.
Ooh, I could go for a nice glass of Angelico.
Well, let's move to Ricky Starks. It seems like it's all but confirmed that he's leaving AEW, which is honestly make across the god type of situation. I think he'd do well in WWE. I feel if you put him on SmackDown, put him against Carmelo Hayes. I think that the promos would be phenomenal. The match would be exceptional, and you build two wrestlers at the same time, kind of like Triple H and The Rock did in '98. But that's just my opinion. Do you think Ricky Starks will go to the main roster right away, or do you think he'd make a stint on NXT first?
Well, he definitely be going to NXT first. See, because after his AEW push really fizzled out, and he was in the midst of being pushed around the time he won the Owen Hart tournament.
Did he win the Owen Hart tournament?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. That was before they
and
gave him the title shots as the winners.
And they for some reason they felt like pulling the gun so early with him and MJF, and you already had MJF making comparisons between Starks and The Rock. So, what people will want to see is a promo battle between The Rock and Starks. I will laugh when it turns out they're actually talking about Billy Starks instead.
Mm-mm-mm.
Well, we love our Space Jesus here on Wrestling With.
Space Yahweh.
Hey,
Space.
man, never lost.
Yahweh!
What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, I think he got lost in the shuffle at AEW, and there's only so many people he can go on top. I think if Ethan Page was going to NXT, he's more than likely going to NXT. I I think he has the chops to get there, and he has the skills to get there. It's just a little fine tuning here and there. It helps Cody's gonna have his back when he's there.
Right.
So it's not like he's going in blind. So I think he has someone that's already has his back in there. So it's a little bit. The road will be a little bit easier. Not saying that it's going to be super easy because it's going to be challenging, but I think a person like Cody could go to NXT and give him a match.
But the question is are they gonna do something along the lines where it looks like Ricky's is riding Cody's coattails, and then they do what they always do in this situation and make the person riding the coattails the super heel to prove that they that they don't need them. Uh, you know, I kind of want to see a Punk Starks rematch.
I don't think they actually wrestled, did they?
Yes, they did. The Owen Hart tournament.
Yes.
Well, I
Yes.
really need to catch up on my AEW. Or not.
Yeah, you've been shitting them so long, you don't even know what's going on. Get it together.
Very true. But, this is a major fumble on AEW's part to not realize what they have in front of them. Yeah, you're doing good stuff with MJF. Yes, you made MJF, one of the top faces, well, one of the top people in your company. But, that top guy needs guys to actually wrestle. And Ricky Starks could have been, in. I mean, honestly, right now, he could have been a megastar for them. He could have actually drew money for AEW. And they just.
Like they shoehorned him into another stable.
Right. It's just. Why are you. This guy is clearly a superstar. And he's proven time and time again that he could make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And you're not giving him anything to work with, and now you're just leaving him at home.
Yeah, and I mean that's got to be a big morale blow for AEW to let somebody like Ricky Starks go.
Well, I mean, look at Eden Page. I mean, he was. When was the last time he did anything interesting on AEW TV?
Well, I mean, see, this is why I will always consider Ethan Page a TNA guy first. And with everything going on in TNA with Josh Alexander, I'm betting we're getting a North reunion. There's a method to this madness.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, Ethan Page, they gave him the ball and he ran with it. They never even gave him an opportunity to play in AEW. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he won he won that hemorrhoid ring.
Wasn't that Scorpio?
Was it Scorpio?
It was Scorpio, I think. I'm pretty sure he won the ring.
Oh, that Sonic the Hedgehog ring.
Yeah.
Or the thing you sit on, so your car, doesn't, aggravate your hemorrhoids.
Correct. Well, WWE might be getting three incredible new talent, but AEW might be getting one in return. Maybe more than one. It's pretty much confirmed that Bobby Lashley is making a return to pro wrestling. To what company that remains to be unseen, but it's heavily suggested that it is AEW. I think this is a complete miss and backfire on Bobby. But you know, when it's literally a 50-50 shot, I mean, yeah.
You're basically, and I hate to say this, you could probably interchange Lashley and Hobbs, interchangeably without anyone really noticing.
I mean, you would have to put Bobby Lashley would have to put a wig on.
I mean,
Hobbs has that Chima hair. Is it called Chima?
when you look at Powerhouse Hobbs, you clearly think of Bobby Lashley. He's their Lashley, essentially.
I wouldn't put it that. I wouldn't be that direct about it.
Now, or okay, maybe Hobbs is AEW's Moose. Who knows?
With a side of Carmel?
If Lashley went back to TNA.
Oh God! But how does that cancels out him leaving?
I mean,
you're literally demoting yourself from main roster.
I mean, Ziggler left, and now he can hope he'll have a WWE job again.
I know, right? Like, I mean, in Ziggler, at least, TNA champ.
Yeah. I mean, at least now, we can hope for, the Quebecers going into the Hall of Fame.
I guess.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you don't want to see PCO take on somebody at least once before he finally hangs it up.
I would definitely like to see PCO versus Kevin Nash one more time.
Oh God.
You not know that story?
No, I want to see PCO versus Jean-Pierre Lafitte.
Oh God, no.
You know what? PCO versus the Mountie.
Kaliko, your thoughts on
Oh gosh, that's like Hannah Montana versus Miley Cyrus.
And Hannah Montana would win every time. Kaliko, your thoughts on Bobby Lashley potentially going to AEW?
My biggest fear is, the AEW formula. I mean, that's worse than the Sonata Slaughter. You pop in, you get a title shot, you get pushed to the moon, then you fall back into oblivion, and then you'll figure out what the hell you're doing for the last 3 years. They'll put you in a bunch of tournaments that you ain't gonna win. They ain't gonna put over your group. Then you fucking exhausted, and now you wishing, damn, I should have just went back to WWE. I feel like there's a cycle there.
They'll put you. Wait, you forgot to include the mandatory feud with Hangman Page.
Yep, mandatory feud with Hangman Page and or
Chris Jericho.
Insert just Jericho, exactly.
Man, and you say that I shit on AEW.
Well, I mean, it's just that's the pattern that they've been doing with the WWE guys. Because they
Right.
name the last WWE person that just went over there and got over as themselves. Toni Storm had to literally change who the fuck she was just to get over.
Edge.
And Edge, I mean Adam Copeland.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
He kept us edgy.
And when I say get over, win the AEW title, because anything less for him would be a disservice.
Well, I mean,
anything
he won
less
the
would
TNT
be
championship.
anything less would be uncivilized.
Yes.
For WWE, I do see that it is maybe a legit loss. Obviously, Bobby Lashley was a big superstar for them. And I do see that, I kind of do think that they dropped the ball after the whole Omos, rivalry.
They would also apparently be getting MVP as well.
Yes, by default. Buy one, get one. But then again, the WWE does have that guy in NXT, Saba Odi Acapelico, so
Obafemi.
that's what I said. So yeah, I mean, in short, massive guy that looks like that has strength like Brock Lesnar, right there,
and
could be bigger than Bobby Lashley.
And plus, they brought back Odyssey Jones. Cue the Who from James.
Who?
Exactly.
That's the guy that had the tent and awning ring gear.
No, that was Quincy Elliott.
Okay, then it's definitely a who situation.
Yeah. People are have a hard time telling the difference between Odyssey Jones, who is a strong brutish guy, and and Quincy Elliott, who was the guy who skipped around the ring. Yes, we'd fit in with Pretty Deadly.
What is it? Yes, boy.
Yes, boy.
Alright, now, people going other places. Seth Rollins, if you saw on, Raw, got taken out by, I'm blanking on his name. Oh, Bronson Reed.
Bam Bam Bronson.
Bam Bam Bronson. He took, 5 or 6 typhoons.
8 tsunamis.
Yeah.
7 tsunamis, sir.
And 10 earthquakes. A couple of Santa Ana winds.
4 hurricanes. 3 human tornadoes and a partridge in a pear tree.
Fair enough.
I think this kind of just reaffirms what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, that maybe Seth Rollins wasn't necessarily ready to come back to pro wrestling. He was still pretty banged up, physically. So they wrote him into the storyline, and now they found a way to write him out. And when he does come back, he has a built-in storyline against Bronson Reed.
But it's to delay the inevitable Punk feud.
Yeah,
right.
Rollins is clear, but given that Becky is taking time off, he kind of wants that time off too, and he probably should take the time off, because I have no doubt that Seth is watching what Mox went through, and I would guarantee Rollins is on the phone every night like, dude, take a break.
Also, did we not just notice that Seth Rollins came to the ring dressed as Hangman Page. The pettiness, boy. The same garments and everything. I'm like, bro. Pettiest of the petty.
My pettiness knows no bounds. It was me, though.
I mean, when he said he didn't like CM Punk, he took it seriously. It's like, I'm gonna dress like the motherfucker you hate. That's how much I hate your ass.
No, if only Seth knew how to dress like Kenny Omega.
If he actually knew how to dress like an actual adult.
I mean, that's what happens when you dress in the dark in Liberace's closet.
Correct.
Ooh, interview segment. Liberace's closet with Seth Rollins.
You know, the sad part of that is I don't hate the idea.
Seth Rollins mentoring Pretty Deadly.
Oh, God. Okay, take my fucking money.
See, you give a Pretty Deadly gimmick to Seth, and he'll fucking run with it.
I kind of feel like Seth already has a pretty deadly.
Yeah. I mean, yes, he's the eccentric guy who, okay, let's face it, in all those garish outfits we've seen him in over the past number of months.
And somewhat slutty as well.
Don't tell me that at something in there was at least one thought in the back of your mind that maybe he wasn't exactly strictly hetero.
I mean, if I didn't already know that he was married to Becky Lynch, I would probably say...
They're not married.
No, they're married. Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
No, they're 100. That is confirmed.
They have rude. They didn't get married.
No, I think they eloped on the beach or something. There was definitely a wedding. But yeah, like I was saying, Seth Rollins on. If you saw Seth Rollins at WrestleMania in the main event with Cody, you didn't look at that guy and said, well, he's going to be back in 2 months at 100%. I haven't seen anybody look that much in pain in a pro wrestling ring in a really long time. So maybe he's healthy, maybe he's cleared to wrestle. Just because you're cleared to wrestle doesn't mean you should actually wrestle. And maybe it's time, like you said, learn from Mox, take a break from the ring. Alright. Let's get into from taking some time off to maybe making a comeback. Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi maybe possibly making a return together as the Golden Lovers once again.
Forecast calls for golden showers.
Correct. That was also something Seth Rollins was hit by. But it's not going to be anytime soon from what I've heard. It is going to be later in the year, possibly November, December. Kaliko, your thoughts on Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi making a return to the ring?
I mean, golden showers, no R. Kelly, but
Well, change horses midstream.
I know, right? I mean, it's a miracle that he's even still living because diverticulitis ain't no joke. So I mean, trust me, I know.
So do we.
I mean, that's the same thing Brock had, and Brock took it like a champ. So
I mean,
Brock is like an alien.
Right. Like,
no,
I mean,
that's his daughter.
You can't necessarily compare Brock
I'm done.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar has the only daughter ever conceived via anal probe.
Will you stop it?
Never.
I mean,
That's
Kenny
an
Omega
ugly bitch.
thinks he's. Yeah, that is a clone. I ain't gonna lie.
He
But
fell off
anyways,
the ugly tree and in every branch on the way down.
I mean, she fell off the.
No, I stick by what I said.
Damn, that's fucked up.
I'm calling Wang.
He's like, yeah, that's a wedding he don't have to pay for anytime soon. But
Okay, let's get off the looks of Brock Lesnar. This
Rockin' a
isn't
wig.
true
Rockin' a
stories.
Hey, he
wig.
We aren't
started
the
it.
Fast and Police here.
He started it. I'm just here so I'll get
Hey, what are
fined.
those
Anyways,
lights outside my window?
I know, right? But back to the topic at hand. It's great to see if he can make the comeback. First things first is health, so that's the main thing. And I'm glad that I mean, I got to see him, and I hope he gives us a couple more years, before he calls it a wrap. Now, it would be interesting if he comes back. How is it going to work with the whole elite thing? Because
They beat him up.
they fired him, so
Right.
he coming back without a job, homie.
After if Kenny's injuries were as serious as they were, and Kenny decided to do what they did, a number of months ago anyway with that attack, then I'm sorry, but Kenny's a fucking moron. Which is why I don't think his injuries are as bad as was being led to believe. I believe he needed time to recover. I don't think it was severe as it was, as indicated. And yeah, that attack was a test essentially to lay the seeds in what, because they're not going to have Kenny and Jericho against the Bucks, and you're not going to put Hangman with Kenny to get revenge on the Bucks. Who you gonna put Kenny with to blow off that feud? Hologram?
I mean, Tony seems to be high on him right now.
Tony's high on a lot of things, mostly cocaine.
What I'm kind of wondering is, how long does Kenny Omega stay with AEW after this one? Obviously he's going to be coming back there. He's gonna, get his feet wet once again, with the company Wrestle. I don't know what his contract has in it. But I do feel like he doesn't necessarily want to be there anymore. That's just my take on things. So do you see this maybe being the last year of Kenny Omega and AEW, or do you think that he's maybe going to remain his career in AEW?
Oh my god, and I just thought of the perfect way to debut him too. We're being it's recently made official, and we'll get into this a little bit later. It will be Kevin Owens and Cody in Berlin.
Yeah.
So I imagine Kenny Omega's, if he were to, for one go with the E, there would be some sort of, misdirection with initials. Like, oh, yeah, you're going to be facing KO. We didn't say Kevin Owens, though. Carry on our wayward son. Stupidest fucking theme song ever.
Oh yes.
Kansas should not be a theme song.
Kansas shouldn't be a state. Let's just be honest.
This is Kansas. This is not our Kansas. America, explain!
I mean, Kansas City is the home of the defending Super Bowl champions back to back. I mean, they only got the best quarterback in the world right now.
Yeah,
That nobody
Kansas
cares
City.
about. The only reason they care about him is because of who he's dating.
Yeah,
Who? Patrick Mahomes?
I thought it was Kelsey.
yeah. He's not a quarterback.
He's not a quarterback.
Mahomes is the QB, dude.
Mahomes is the QB. Kelsey's the tight end.
Dude,
Pause.
I don't watch
No,
football.
T Swift is the tight end.
That is the correct answer.
Wait a minute. T Swift has no end.
I mean,
I mean, he has a pretty good answer.
wait. Okay, so now, all right, we've gone from golden showers to talking about T Swift's asshole. All right, that's a show. That's in the books.
Charlotte has more ass than Taylor Swift.
Kaliko, Kenny Omega on WWE TV. Do you see it happening? Yes or no?
Who?
Kenny
Who
Omega.
again? Kitty? Oh no, that ship sailed.
Kenny Omicron.
That ship has sailed. He's not doing it. And in his mind, I can see him being the person where he doesn't need it to justify his contribution.
See him
'Cause-
being a GM.
He is forever a legend in New Japan, and so he has, and in his mind, that's good enough.
Okay,
Yes,
and we'll leave it at that.
He's got a legend for having the softest mouth. Just ask Okada. Ibushi. Shibata. Does not compute.
Cody did an interview recently stating that he'd like a WWE PLE to be in Italy. What are your thoughts on WWE doing a PLE in Italy? It does seem like it would be. It's not out of the realm of possibilities at this point. Something close to the Roman Colosseum would.
I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, if the Colosseum wasn't one of the wonders of the world, I mean, clearly they would put it there. The clash of the Colosseum. Yeah, you have Roman at the Colosseum.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah, that would
yes.
make sense.
And then that's when you bring back Luther Reigns.
Well, I mean, obviously it would be, if you can't do class at the Colosseum, obviously violence at the Vatican, right?
Yes, violence in Vatican City.
Violence in Vatican City. I'm done. That is a good one. Violence in Vatican. The Vatican violence.
The Swiss Guard Showdown.
And then they
Manja Mania.
and then they build a match between Vince McMahon and the Pope, and then the Pope comes out and he says, "Not me, dog," and then you say, "Hey, it's Elijah Buck."
Oh God.
You hear that funky music? The Pope and the Pope do a handshake, and you're off to the races.
You never go Pope to Pope.
I mean, two what's it called? Two popes. That's a show. And then you bring the kid from 2.5 Men, 2.5 Popes.
2.5 Popes. God damn it.
I'm done. Rumble at the River City. I can see that in it.
Violence in Venice.
Oh my
The
god.
Sinking City Showdown. Winner the winner is the last person not to be thrown in the canals of Venice. Carnage at the canal.
The winner gets the antibiotic vaccine that saves you from whatever you may have caught in that in the river.
Apparently, we turned this into a Tom Hanks, Robert Langdon movie now. You know what? I either want a Pope on a pole match or a Pope on a rope match.
Pope or the rope. I like that.
You know what? Damn it, that way no.
Oh, well,
Chaos at the College of Cardinals.
Chaos at the cathedral.
there you go.
It is a Sistine Showdown. Sistine Slam.
Isn't the 16th chapel in Italy, right?
Oh my God! Did you just say the 16th?
Isn't it the 16th chapel?
No, it's the Sistine.
Well, that's what I was kind of alluding to. 16 Chapels of Hell match.
The Catholic Clash.
No, see, no, you'd have to do the nine levels of hell match to fit in with Dante's
Dante's
Inferno.
Inferno. Yeah. This is gonna be like the longest PLE ever.
And we'd only be one match in. It would be 1 week later. They're giving Canada a run for their money.
Yeah, Psycho
Yeah.
Mike. So we're all in agreement. On Italy, a PLE wouldn't suck.
You know, important societal roles, more of them need to be decided by over-the-top rope battle royals.
Okay.
Screw the carnage at the conclave. Oh,
Yeah.
Renaissance Rumble.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
I like that. Yes. I agree with this.
Everybody must compete as a former gimmick.
We'll have Triple H come out as Hunter Horse Helmsley? No. Terrorizing.
Rising.
Yes.
Yes. There
So
you
that
go.
means Undertaker's coming back as Mean Mark
Mean Mark.
Calloway?
Or just Mean Mark.
Yes.
Or he's coming back as the Punisher.
Ooh, trouble at the Tower of Pisa.
That tower ain't gonna be leaning after we get done with it.
Well, keeping up with international PLEs, we would be all night if we continued.
I mean, I'm already looking it up. I'm like, Mount Vesuvius? That's a good one. We can come on with it.
Oh, come on, bring back Friar Ferguson. No.
I mean, somebody
Oh,
has to get thrown
gosh.
off Rialto Bridge. All I'm saying.
You just
Of
looked that
course.
up.
Huh?
You just looked that up.
I
Like
no.
madness in Milan.
No.
The Milan madness.
Now, Milan has Fashion Week. They don't need anything else.
That's its own bloodbath all on its own.
Ooh, you have Gucci as sponsor. Gucci as the ring mat sponsor.
Ooh, okay. I think that.
A hardcore House of Gucci bra.
So WWE is considering making Raw on taping Raw.
Pantheon punishment. No,
That's Greece.
Oh,
you know what? I don't care. I don't give a shit. I just wanted to throw that in there.
WWE is considering taping Raw on Sundays and wherever they're doing the international PLE.
Fuck off.
So they don't have to travel, make such a hustle of traveling to the next city for Raw.
They made their fucking bed. They got a lie in it.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it's Monday over there anyway. He'll be Monday over there anyway.
You know what? They fucking chose this. They didn't want to tape Raw anymore. In fact, the only thing they'll tape is SmackDown.
That's right.
Keep in mind, we haven't seen a taped, pay-per-view or PLE for the WWE since '92, for pro wrestling in general since '94.
That's right. Wasn't that no, that was in SummerSlam.
That '92 was SummerSlam.
Beware of Dog?
WCW said what?
Beware of Dog?
No, '94 Collision in Korea.
Oh, so you're talking about WCW?
Yes, that's why I said for the WWE '92, for
Okay.
pro wrestling in general '94, where Antonio Inoki and Ric Flair.
Well, I mean, I get it. Where they're coming from, just tape Raw on Sunday, but I mean, they're gonna be on Netflix in a couple of months. Why not just have a Sunday Night Raw?
Or Sunday Night Heat.
I mean, because their business research has told them that Saturday nights are a better night to market because their primary demographic watches more on Saturday nights than anything else as compared to Sunday.
Well, I
They
mean, they're
don't
going
wa-
back to Sunday soon, so.
I mean, they didn't.
They're
They
gonna
didn't-
have to with these 2 nights.
I mean, the whole point of Netflix is for it to be live.
Right.
And if
I mean, there's not that many taped Raws in general. If I'm
there's maybe one out of the year, maybe even 2, and they really only usually end half at the end of the year.
right.
It's but they have to remember that this is as much of a risk for Netflix as it is for them.
Oh yeah. I mean, Netflix is
Ne-
just checking out, live programming.
Like they are banking on this, and I always thought that Netflix should purchase a channel on in every cable market and push their original programming that way, entice people to actually want to
But don't give them the last episode, so they have to buy it.
yeah, but see, now they're doing, at least Verizon is, you buy a year of Peacock, you get a year of Netflix for free.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's only $10 a month. But also,
The commercial-free one?
I don't think it's. I think one of them has ads.
Well, fuck them.
But now there's also a Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus bundle.
Yeah. It
Now,
has been for quite some time.
now all the companies are coming together to. No, I'm sorry. No, not Netflix. Hulu, Disney Plus, and Max.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I literally just saw a commercial for it today. And for $16.99 a month, which is not terrible. Then again, if you have HBO, you get Max for free anyway. So,
Very true. So you're
it's
against WWE taping on Sundays and airing it on Mondays.
if there was a if they aired it live on Sundays and then showed it on Monday,
Like a replay.
yeah, I would have less of a problem because then thered be at least a way for others to digest the content who really, you may argue that $6.99 a month is not a lot of money, but not when you're weighing it up against every other expense in life.
Correct.
So it's again, it's how do they make up for essentially the, I don't want to say 32 some odd years of just free, free TV rights, but 32 years of not really being behind a paywall. And let's face it, SmackDown moving to USA is great. The NXT moving to the CW is complete bullshit.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. But what about you, Kaliko? Your thoughts on Raw possibly being taped on Sunday for international PLEs? Well, after PLEs.
I mean, I kind of get it because the only reason I get it is because of that extreme jet lag, right?
Right.
Because usually when they're doing these PLEs, they're not just there for the one day; they're there for the week of.
Right.
To like get used to like time zone and get acclimated. So that's the only reason I would be for it, for the overall health of the people. Because it's a tough slate. Because even with the NFL, they play a game overseas, they spend that week, and when they even after the game, they get a bye week. So to me, it makes sense.
I'd say why they don't think about it, they don't really have to have an actual like live show. They could do like something akin to a highlight reel of something, or you do like a preview.
I'm 100% against that.
Like I not the logo show like I'm still of the mind that the whole Netflix deal is going to backfire.
Well, losing you again, Scooter. You're pretty staticky.
You're staticky, motherfucker!
Well, I heard that.
I was sitting up.
You mentioned that CW will be the home of NXT, and it was announced that the first two shows will be outside of the Performance Center. The first night will be in the Allstate Arena in Chicago, and will actually feature CM Punk, because you can't do a show in Chicago without CM Punk. The next week will be in Missouri and will feature Randy Orton. I like that they're trying something here. I don't think that it's going to be a massive success. kind of like when TNA tried to venture out of Universal Studios back in 2009, but
Yeah. Keep in mind, they've already tried the CW.
what do you mean?
They've already tried being on the CW. People don't remember it though.
Yeah, they were on Channel 5, right?
SmackDown. Well, for me, it's Channel 9.
For me, it was
No.
UPN.
Yeah, UPN. For me,
UPN.
now it's
Now it's CW.
Yeah. People forget that SmackDown started on UPN,
Right.
what became CW. And eventually, after a certain point, it went back. It went to USA, went back to the CW, went to Sci-Fi, went back to the CW again for a third time, and it. I mean, unless they've got something in the back pocket with TNA and NXT.
Okay. What are your thoughts about it, Kaliko?
I mean, I get it in the sense that they're trying to get NXT more eyeballs, and them putting it on a common channel that everyone can get would help that. I
mean, it's not about it being on CW. It's about them going outside of the Performance Center for the first time since the pandemic.
But they've been on tour. They've been on tour before.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing.
I mean, they didn't do TV shows, but they've done.
But they've done
live tours.
Yeah, they've done, and they've done. The Big Four deal, accompanying shows. From the same arena and adjacent arena.
I can barely hear you, Scooter. You're not. You're really staticky.
I can hear you perfectly. The fault is with you, it's not with me.
I don't think that's the case. I mean, I hear Kaliko fine.
I hear you absolutely fine, and you just said I hear Kaliko just fine.
I mean, like I said, I can only hear there's like a staticky background, and it's kind of overtaking your voice. You can hear that, right?
Oh, look.
Kaliko?
Yeah, I can hear it, but let me see if it's me.
It's
first I'll delete myself.
No. Kaliko.
What does the guy gotta do? Sweat.
Hello, Kaliko. Respond.
I died and came back.
Yeah, you're fine. I mean, Scooter...
Yeah, you're fine. Kaliko's fine. There's no static coming through from you guys.
All I'm saying is when I can't when you're when it's staticky. I can't
there it is.
Oh, there! I don't hear anything now. Scooter. Oh.
Your mother. Bitch ass.
I just want to kick you out. Oh.
I kicked you out first.
Well.
Who knows where I'll kick you?
What was we talking about? The NXT
anal.
being outside of the Performance Center touring. And like I was saying, yeah, they're doing they do shows outside of the Performance Center, but it's usually attached to a big WWE event as well. I mean, it's not like it's only NXT drawing that crowd. You know what I mean? Hello?
Yes. Yes, I know what you mean.
Okay. And then all left. Yeah. Scooter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last bit of news this week, Braun Breaker calls out John Cena for an Intercontinental Championship match. I don't think that Breaker Cena would necessarily be a bad match, but do you see John Cena getting an Intercontinental title run in his last year as a pro wrestler, Kaliko? Kaliko? Oh, I think we lost Kaliko.
What?
There you
I'm
go.
right here.
Okay, yes, he's here.
There we go. I was about to say I'm right here. No, he's not doing it. For what? It would be.
Oh, Kaliko caught up. Got cut.
He got cut off.
He caught whatever
It would
has.
It would be meaningless for him to have that title.
I mean, the only reason
It'd be sentiment. It'd be sentimental, and that's about it.
If they're gonna give Cena any title,
It would be to break the record.
yep.
Like, the record means more than the title, the IC title.
I get that. I don't. The only reason I see they give him the Intercontinental is because he's never held it before.
But, I mean, the only reason you would give it to him is to give him a run and lose it eventually.
But then you would have to put Sheamus in the match, or you'd have to have Cena lose it to Sheamus.
Why Sheamus?
Because Sheamus has never held it either.
That would be true.
Yeah.
And what a great callback that would be to Sheamus's first title reign.
Yeah.
Beating John Cena, yeah.
Okay. So maybe.
But then again, if Cena's last match is with Sheamus, Cena was going to end up in AEW. So.
Come on. Alright. I think that will conclude the news for this week. And now a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
Use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE SummerSlam. It took place last Saturday in Cleveland, Ohio, at the Cleveland Brownstein Stadium. Attendance
AKA not Detroit.
correct.
We're not Detroit.
Attendance was 57,791. Definitely a pretty good crowd. Kaliko was at the show. I have somewhat of a love-hate relationship with this show. Just for the simple fact that I did not have the best stream. It was pretty buffering primarily the whole time. Made it a lot.
Oh, your P wasn't cocking?
Yeah. P was definitely not cocking. So
It was more like burnt sienna than marigold.
correct. So yeah, that definitely impacted my overall enjoyment of the show. But what say you, Scooter? Well, how was your stream?
Oh, my stream was perfect. Even though there was a little bit of blood. I'm pretty sure I got 2 stones out, so hooray. As for the PLE, it was perfect.
All right,
And that's surprising coming from Cleveland.
correct.
Yes, coming from Cleveland.
A stream notwithstanding, I do think that this was a good show. Definitely more eventful than a lot of their PLEs as of late. It definitely put you in the next direction they want to go with everything going on in WWE. But what say you, Scooter? What was your thoughts on the show as a whole?
See, they pulled a lot of triggers on title changes. I really didn't think they were going to, and that was that was a pleasant surprise. And I'll bring this up when we get to the specific match. But this was it was a good show. It had a lot of standout stuff. I do kind of have to dock a point or two for the main event because calling it another Bloodline Rules match and it not living up to the hype of everybody that was a part of it at Mania.
It made it less than.
Yeah, it lessened the impact. I mean, it was great, and of course, we all called it. But it was great to see, and I think, I think the return was done quite perfectly. I have to say, it's in this might be, but I don't think I ever will see Solo as somebody who should be made at 4.
What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, my stream was perfect.
I mean, yeah, it was crystal clear. You were fucking there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, well, you know who else was there? Rob Feinstein.
Before I start, I'm just gonna say this. Before I give my opinion, I just want to say this one thing. Cleveland, I love you. I love you to death. It was good. This is coming from my heart. Y'all were good. But if y'all shut that fucking city down at 10 o'clock ever again on a Thursday night, I will cuss everyone out there, dog. It was horrible. Horrible! It was horrible. Cleveland was horrible. The city was done at 9:30. I went to try to find something to eat. Bro, I had to drive to a hole-in-the-wall barbecue spot at 3 in the morning. Get your shit together, Cleveland. If Google says you're open to 1, stay open to 1, goddamn.
Hey, we don't need at 3 in the morning.
All right, well, that was
Now.
Kaliko's meltdown portion of the show.
Now,
Kaliko's
and for WWE, don't you fucking ever plan this shit during the NFL Hall of Fame week, because it was a bitch leaving Cleveland. I'm talking about, I thought I was leaving Las Vegas the way fucking it was leaving Cleveland. Everybody trying to hop out of Cleveland. But anywho's, okay. Rant over. Got that out the way.
Nobody, you haven't seen this many people leave Cleveland since Cleveland was discovered.
Now, with that being said, okay, the show. Now, top to bottom, this is probably the best storytelling PLE they've had this year. Top to bottom. Every story was impactful. Every match had a meaning. There wasn't duds. The drama was through the roof.
Oh yeah.
And when people say, like, and this is my AEW detractors, when the story is good in wrestling, it's the best. It was just like, holy shit. Like, it was, my voice is still fucked up from a week. That's how much I was yelling. Like, oh, god damn. But storytelling, as far as like the ring storytelling, was top to bottom, top notch. Probably the best one they had this year. I think this was better than 40, personally. And the only reason I say that is because it was concise, it was condensed, and it got to the point.
I agree with that. All right, let's get into it. Liv Morgan defeated Rhea Ripley to retain the WWE Women's World Championship and win the heart of Dominic Mysterio in 15 minutes and 55 seconds.
All right, I have to put the answers here. Raw is Women's World Champion. SmackDown is WWE Women's Champion.
That's why I said Women's World Championship.
You said WWE Women's World Champion.
WWE Women's... Well, it's the WWE brand.
He said, get it right, motherfucker.
When it comes to... first and foremost, great way to start the show, 100%. Definitely came in hot. The storytelling in this match was done to perfection. Liv never really lived up to be a credible threat to actually beat Rhea Ripley. They told the story of Rhea getting injured. Rhea and Dominic wasn't a factor until the very end. You knew he was there. He didn't necessarily do anything until it actually mattered. And honestly, this was chef's kiss in my opinion. It did everything that it needed to do, literally to the best of its abilities. Scooter?
Well, Dom was tired of being a sub.
Yep.
I mean, why does this guy always have two chicks fighting over him? You know, and both women are beautiful, but you know, she, you know, I really wonder if this is leading to Buddy Murphy returning.
It isn't. And even if it did, like, literally nobody would tell.
I mean, if they posted more pictures of his head on Rhea's ass, they would.
Oh, no, nobody cares about that.
The best pillow in the house.
Right, is that
I
your...
mean, I mean, and I gotta Liv throwing herself into this whole sex kitten thing. It's it's refreshing to see after being stuck in a never-ending barrage of political correctness and woke culture that this is a classic soap opera. Like, she's a very, very attractive woman, and leading into that, and before that, she was very tomboyish. And for that matter, so was Rhea. They both kind of, formed a cocoon around themselves and, exploded in opposite, directions on, their correct paths. And this was great storytelling. Here's the thing, though, is that I'm not. I was kind of hoping for Dom to pick Liv. And maybe that says some weird, twisted shit about me, but you know what? Hey, I know one girl from Jersey who got a mustache ride that night.
Collector, your thoughts on the match?
Well, to me, this match started what I called the karma is a bitch night. Because at first I started to feel bad for Rhea until I realized who was beating Dom's ass the whole time when he was with his dad.
Well, yeah, but that's how she attracted him.
But that's my thing. I think it was a karma in the sense that, yeah, he did it. He joined. But now he got a girl that wants him and gets him what he wants. The chicken nuggies. You know what I'm saying?
No. Tendies.
Tendies, nuggies, they're the same damn thing. One's just chopped in bits. Get out of here. But anyways, it was just karma is a bitch night. Because that, even though Dom joined, that was never atoned for. And that receipt came in heavy. It wasn't even a receipt. It was a fucking invoice for Rhea. And when they had that kiss on the Jumbotron, it was like, whoa. And I think Dominic Mysterio did something that I've never seen in my life.
slip of the tongue?
No, a heel turn, a heel performing a heel turn.
Well, considering, most of them,
they hated him when he walked in. How the hell could you hate him more? They made him hate him more when he left. I was like, God damn.
considering that,
Some goat shit. That's some goat shit from Dom. Come on, man.
that Liv walked out with more of the mustache than Dom had.
You always say, Kaliko, why did this person turn heel? And Liv Morgan said 2 weeks before, the revenge tour is complete at SummerSlam when I win the championship. And it just shows you that she did everything she said she would. She injured Rhea Ripley, she took her title, and she took her man. It makes Liv Morgan credible as a performer that, okay, well, maybe she's not as big as Rhea Ripley, but she does deliver on what she says she's going to do. And
with Dom's help, but she took the group too. Shit, it wasn't just that.
She took everything. So, and it leaves Rhea Ripley with nothing, which makes her an even better babyface, because now she's coming in, with nothing. So she has everything to gain going forward.
She's not hypnotized anymore. I really want to know what Rhea whispered into Dom's ear after, he rejected Liv, and then, I assume it's something like, I'm gonna let you watch buddy and move from over.
Scooter, how many stars you give this one?
69. The match itself, the match itself, 3.5. I will bump it to 4 for great storytelling. I also want to see if they take it in a way where Dom felt like a piece of property to Rhea.
Well, there was...
Yeah, I mean, like, again, when you're in a Dom sub relationship with a guy whose literal name is Dom, and you make him the sub, you make him the bottom bitch, I would actually love it if this led to a Mysterio family reunion.
Oh, Lord.
Anything's possible at this point. Kaliko, how many stars?
I've been going back and forth on it, because I'm like, man, but fuck it. 5. I'm giving him 5. The drama was good, yo. Being there in person and looking at the faces, because it's like the fact we kind of figured it would happen. It's just the way that it happened, and the way that Dom walked off, and the way, and what's funny? We heard the audio, like Pat McAfee called him a piece of shit. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, it's that little detail. Like, to me, 5. Story is 5. Yeah, fuck it. You might as well go ahead and just pencil me in for a lot of 5s up in this bitch.
I think I was on the fence of between giving it a 5 and a 4.5, but like Scooter said, the match was maybe 3.5, possibly 4. The story makes it a 5. So you know what? Fuck it. Let's go 5.
Did you get the opinion of the Hulk to a TikTok girl?
No.
No, I don't take the opinion of a girl who thought Jay-Z's New York song said concrete jungles where we are in tomatoes. I'm good. No, I'm straight. I'm straight.
Oh, great. Now I won't stop hearing that.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Braun Breaker defeated Sami Zayn to capture the WWE Intercontinental Championship in 5 minutes 40 seconds. Not a bad match, maybe not as good as their Money in the Bank match. But it did what it needed to do, and that was give Braun Breaker a nod at a big event. Scooter, your thoughts?
Uh, they are running apparently somebody. Jesus, no, thank God. I see why they did this. They kind of had to go back to putting Sammy as the underdog. They're gonna do the third match next week on Raw, 2 out of 3 falls. But I think, at least I hope, I understand why Sammy dropped it.
Well,
And I hope it will have something to do with the result of the match. We'll discuss later.
right.
But it's the idea of the first time being a fluke, as it were, to all of a sudden Breaker beating him in less than 6 minutes. That's real. That's build. That's real build there. It's not just he's gonna Breaker going out there and just kicking ass and taking ass.
Dom was the one taking ass that night.
Probably. Yes, means anal. They're being very smart with how they're pushing Braun. And they're not turning him into an unstoppable machine like Goldberg was. It shows that he might be he might be a badass, he might be Bulldog Jr., but he's still vulnerable and can still lose.
Right.
I will give this match. I usually don't like to give short matches high ratings, but I will give this a 4.
Kaliko? And you're muted, Kaliko.
Yeah, I know. Well, for me, when he came out in Cleveland with the dog pound, we already knew what time it was. It was like, yeah, Sammy, we love you, but this is about to be your funeral, dog. Like it's just that time right now. So I didn't think it would be that quick. But it does build to the mystique of Braun in the sense of fool me, can't get fooled again. So I can see it in that dynamic. With that being said, with the dog pound, giving him the gotta give it a 4.5 because they were every time Sammy even got hit and every time goddamn Braun went on offense, and I was there with him, but
Yeah.
UGA dog purposes. UGA purposes, not Cleveland Brown purposes. But yes, 4.5.
I think that the match was only cut short due to time constraints. I don't see it was for storyline purposes, my opinion only. That being said, I give it 3.5. I don't. It was a solid match. It was a solid match after Liv and Rhea. It did what it had to do. They understood the assignment. Alright, LA Knight defeated Logan Paul, to capture the WWE United States Championship in 12 minutes. This match was fire from the beginning. LA Knight came out in the Prime truck. Logan Paul came out with Machine Gun Kelly for some reason. Had the crowd going from start to finish. Nothing bad about that, and obviously the right guy won because clearly Logan Paul is from Cleveland, so there was no fucking way he was gonna win. Scooter.
Yeah, not to mention, that whole Olympics controversy. Logan couldn't help but share his opinion on.
Which I highly doubt had any effect on who won the match.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I honestly would not be surprised if we don't see him until the Royal Rumble. What kind of really pisses me off is that there's a Best of Logan Paul compilation on Peacock already. Ugh. That being said, it was Knight's time. It was Knight's time as much as it was Braun Breaker's time. I really think we're seeing an almost John Cena-esque elevation when we get to it, because I would not be surprised if future plans for a world title reign for LA Knight are somewhere in the books down the line. But you can say what you want about Logan Paul the person. Logan Paul, the pro wrestler, and I hate that these words are coming out of my mouth, but the guy's a fucking natural.
Oh yeah.
And it's like we want to hate you. You act like an asshole. Why are you talented? But either way, I will say that them pulling the trigger on the title change was a pleasant surprise. I'm giving this 4.5.
Kaliko?
Well, James, we talked last week. What did I tell you about these homecoming?
Right.
What did I say when motherfuckers have matches in their hometown?
Oh yeah.
They get their asses handed to them.
It was the night of heels, and Logan Paul was literally the only heel that didn't win.
That is true.
Are
because
we
hometown curse.
Are we counting DIY from the
Yes,
franchise?
yes. And for the record, just off the rip, Jacob Fatu that night gave him a Killer Instinct combo on that ass. That like holy shit.
God, like that guy, like he
that was just
he shortened his career.
Like Jesus. Anyways, with that being said, I already knew he was gonna lose. One, because he was too busy trying to big up Cleveland. He really wasn't repping Cleveland like that until the homecoming. So that was it for me. LA Night 1, it was the moment everyone was waiting for. And being in the crowd, it's crazy because the crowd has an effect on my rating because everybody was popping for I think this is the first event where everyone was popping for every entrance music, point blank period. LA Night 1, of course the crowd got into it. I'm giving it a 5 just because when he has the title and he's in the air and everybody's yelling, LA Night, yeah. So, yeah.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. So, yeah, 5. I told you I'm Diamond Dallas Page. We giving self high fives up in this thing.
And I give this match 4.5. It did everything that it needed to do.
Now they just need LeBron to come out and just punch Logan once.
Well, unfortunately, he was at the Olympics, so that wouldn't have that was not viable at that time. All right, Nia Jax defeated Bayley to win the WWE Women's Championship in 12 minutes and 30 seconds. If I'm being honest, this match didn't necessarily hit for me as much as their other encounters. Bayley and Nia have had bangers in the past, but I feel like this kind of felt under and was a little flatter than their other matches that they have had. Definitely unexpected moments. Did not think Nia was going to win the match. I was more in favor of a Tiffy time cash-in. But no, did not goes to Nia. Scooter?
I agree with that it didn't fire on all cylinders, but it was still a good match in spite of it.
I think it was just maybe compared to everything that we've seen up to that point. And
they were hitting target every time. That there was bound to be something that wasn't exactly going to keep the trend going, so to speak. But Nia winning the title here brings validation back to winning the Queen of the Ring.
Which only goes back to Zelina Vega.
So it means something now. If Bayley had won, this would have just been another okay. We're waiting for Tiffany to cash in. I love the fact that she's now Princess Tiffany. That Tiffany is so afraid to cash in on Nia, which I think we are seeing a natural evolution of Tiffany's strategy into a babyface, which is very odd to say because she plays a heel so well.
And people actually like her as a heel as well. It's what got her
Yeah.
over in the first place. But they are kind of making Tiffany Stratton somewhat of sympathetic character.
Uh, you know, I would say now would be a great time to bring Alexa back. And maybe try and make her the voice in Tiffany's ear, saying if somebody like her can cash in on Nia, she can too.
But that's right, because Alexa was the one that cashed in on Nia the first time around.
Mm-hmm. So, I will. Again, this is another match that its storytelling elevated it. Maybe not as much as the matches before it, but it still benefited. So I would say 3.5 for the match overall, but the story overall brings it to a 4 for me.
Kaliko?
I would say this match, it was the story, and when that Tiffy time, it's Tiffy time hit, everybody was like, what? Because the thought process everybody was thinking was from the last King of the Ring, right? Like, or the last Money in the Bank when Drew cashed in and made it a triple threat.
Right.
So the story was that it made it a decoy more so than anything. So the right person won, and I agree with Scooter in the sense that when you're bringing back the King and Queen of the Ring and to have a title match, you have to start off with the first person winning it for that title. Otherwise, people wouldn't take it as seriously. So I'm glad that Nia got the win. It furthers the storyline and the beef between them two. So storyline wise, it's a 4.5 for me. Bailey picking up Nia's ass like that to drop a power bomb.
Yeah.
Highlight of the match.
Definitely agree with you there. I feel like this story wasn't as developed as everything else on the show. I feel like we're just kind of getting into the story that they're trying to tell. Where everything was kind of at its peak. Like I said, not their best match, so I'm gonna give it 3.5. Alright, then we have a singles match with Seth freaking Rollins as the special guest referee. Drew McIntyre defeated CM Punk in 17 minutes. When you have a blow-off match that is literally the first match that they have, and it's this explosive before they even touch, yeah, this was fire. And it had every right to be that way. They could have screwed it up. They 100% did not. This was everything it needed to be and then some. It was the perfect storytelling by all Dream Men. Everybody was making the comparison. Oh, this is like 97. Punk even wore Bret Hart gear. And Seth, teased hitting Punk with the chair. Obviously not the same effect, but it was, we see where you are coming from, and we're going to give you a taste of that, but it's not going to be that way. And Drew getting his comeuppance finally getting that taste of revenge. It just this hit on every cylinder. Perfect tens across the board, in every aspect. Scooter?
Yeah, the match was good from start to finish. Anybody who still doubts CM Punk, the naysayers, I think, can rest their voices for the time being. And yet again, that elusive, Punk Rollins match, which presumably is penciled in for Mania. Drew definitely needed this. Punk really didn't need to win. At this point, Punk doesn't really need wins. He doesn't need losses either, but he's at a point where the momentum is so steady that unless he screws something up majorly, losses really won't hurt him as much as anybody else. I will give this, and you know what? Again, another match helped by the minutia details of storytelling. I mean, as soon as Punk saw the bracelet on Rollins' wrist, and he assumes the worst, it shows a vulnerability in Punk that McIntyre was allowed to take advantage of. I will say this though. Am I crazy for wanting to see both Becky and AJ involved in this next phase of Punk Rollins?
Yeah, that definitely that is what they got going on, in my opinion.
I'll give it that 4.5.
Kalika.
I sentiment everyone's echoes with the 97 SummerSlam Brett Shawn Taker thing. Drew McIntyre had some ring gear with a nod to Taker. Fun story time real quick. Just a little sidebar. So I went and met Drew McIntyre along with Bailey. They had a meet and greet. And the first thing that I asked him was, dude, you can be one petty MFer. You know that? He looked at me dead serious face and was like, I am not petty. I am justified. I was like, oh, shit. I was the straightest of faces. He was like, I am not petty. I am justified. To the point that I had a friend, he went with me. He bought a CM Punk jacket. And at the time, they were telling us no autographs. Drew McIntyre took a break from the line, walked to my friend, signed his jacket, and wrote, "Fuck CM Punk, you cunt," on the jacket.
God.
Wow.
I was like, he really don't like this motherfucker. He really,
Well,
like, they really Dude.
Well, we kind of have to take into account the fact that Drew McIntyre is one of the people in this latest Feinstein division. Because he was one of the people that took a picture with Bob Feinstein.
I can barely hear you, Scooter.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you now.
McIntyre was one of the few people that took a picture with Rob Feinstein. I'm not explaining Rob Feinstein. You can look him up for yourself. Listener beware. And as soon as Punk sees the pic, he calls McIntyre out on it. So, I mean, keep in mind that, LA Knight and Bianca also had pictures with Rob Feinstein. So there's this the storytelling is so phenomenal that heck, at this point, I almost expect Punk and McIntyre in Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood.
I think we all know that's the end result of this. That's the end goal. And I think it has to be at this point. Kaliko, how many stars?
Yeah, back to what I was saying. I personally think this story, just like in '97 when Vince McMahon said Brett screwed Brett, Punk screwed Punk. His ego got the best of him. That was the storyline, because he had him beat dead to rights, and the moment he saw Seth wearing the bracelet, he just couldn't take it. So it's a great storytelling in the sense that his ego took a hit. It was his ego that cost him the match in the storyline. Seth played it perfectly well. I give it a 5. This story, for this to be the first match, and this was the match that me personally I was most invested in. Yeah, it was everything and more, because this was Punk's first match in 10 years since SummerSlam. Like, his last singles match was literally like in the big marquee was SummerSlam. So yeah, it meant a lot to me. And also after the match, CM Punk gives a thumbs up, goes in the crowd and hugs none other than Stephanie McMahon.
Wow. Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
I give the match a 5 stars as well. Storytelling at its finest. Just as good, if not better, than Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. Alright, let's get to Gunther defeating Damian Priest by technical submission to capture the World Heavyweight Championship. The match itself, big man slapping me. Great fucking, just intense beating the hell out of each other. They obviously had their own story attached to this. Gunther calling Priest street trash. And you felt all of that with every hit. And I mean, when was the last time you saw Gunther get his chest busted open? That was definitely a moment. And then you have, what we all suspected when Rhea lost to Liv. Finn Balor comes out, he costs Damian Priest the match. Um, all done, and well, a Balor costing him the match could have been done a little bit better than it was. I would have preferred, a whole Judgment Day beatdown of Priest. But I get where what they wanted to make it a little bit more subtle and more personal between Balor and Priest. Still pretty damn good if I do say so myself. Scooter.
Yeah, building off the idea that Balor didn't want there to really be a single de facto leader of Judgment Day, leading to the group imploding, on Priest. It's kind of fitting. You knew that it's what it seemed like it was building up to. I really was genuinely shocked that they actually had Balor to do this. I'm even more shocked that they actually pulled the trigger on Gunther. Because this is going to be a very, very interesting title reign for him. And as I mentioned before, Gunther, when you think about it, he really only has two naturally built-in opponents.
Right.
The first being Ilya Dragunov, the only man to ever make him submit. And second is Sammy. So, could this mean a main event run for Sammy, where it looks like it could be even more of a possibility that Sammy could win than he's ever had? I hope so.
Let's put a pin in that for just a moment and talk about the match, because that is something I do want to talk about once we get out of talking about the match. Scooter?
Well, now I'm kind of hoping that with Finn and Dominic, essentially staying together. Who cares where Carlito and JD McDonough are? Priest is going to need an ally. And this, once again, it brings me back to Bad Bunny.
Oh, God.
I mean, that's full circle storytelling right there.
Are you telling me we're going to see Bad Bunny in War Games?
No, I'm saying Bad Bunny and Damian Priest against Finn and Dominic.
Okay.
War Games is bloodline. That I don't think you're wrong on. But Priest has got to go back. He's got to go back to his roots. And he's, because if that led him, back to, Bad Bunny.
That would make sense.
Not, not to mention, now seeing a Finn Balor Bad Bunny match, but more importantly, do we get the Demon back?
I don't think so. He's made it very clear that he doesn't want to do that gimmick anymore.
Yeah. I would have given this match a 5. Gunther winning it like he did, and also I can't overlook that placement botch where Damien literally had to roll Gunther to the ropes just so they could pull off Finn's interference. Will this come back to reveal that whole screwed up count from Money in the Bank was actually planning from Finn and Dominic? Maybe. There's a lot of ways for this to go. I don't think Damien should be going into a rematch, invoking his title clause, because now he won't be the odds-on favorite.
What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, well, now his issue is with the Judgment Day, or what the new reincarnation of it is. The match itself was solid. I think the weekend, like, I look at this storytelling from a weekend standpoint because they had the Damian Priest screening in Cleveland for his documentary. And afterwards, they were doing the Q&A, and guess who decides to show up to interrupt the Q&A? Gunther. So I'm looking at it from that standpoint of what happened, tying all of that in, along with the Finn turn. The Finn turn was karma at its finest because of the simple fact that, Damien cost him last year. So karma's a bitch, yo. Like, this shit ain't no joke. So it's like you kind of feel bad for him, but you don't, because when they showed the picture, you're like, see, and now is the point of, like, is your action justifiable? And in Finn's case, you can make the argument that it is. And with that being said, storyline-wise, it's a 5. Perfect 5. It was a 5, just the way it happened. And after the match, Damian Priest was looking up at the replay, so it just, like, gained even more empathy for him. Yeah, the storytelling was perfect even after the match. So 5.
I give it 4.5. I feel like the Finn turn could have been done a little bit better and a little bit smoothly. Better. It could have been a little more smoother than it actually came across. Other than that, I had no problem with it. I am just genuinely curious. How did you feel about Damian Priest's run as World Heavyweight Champion, Scudo?
I don't think he got as much as many attention as he should have. But then at the same time, you're kind of backed into a corner when you have these heel versus heel programs. And given the obvious face turn for the Priest, he can chase the title again. That being said, I kind of do have a problem with Gunther's first defense, which will be in Berlin. And it's could be on SmackDown. SmackDown.
Right.
Which makes me think that there's a trade about to be announced. Yeah.
I kind of like it. It's with Sammy being, losing the title, and he's being one of only two men, and the most recent person to beat Gunther. It would have made the most logical sense for Sammy to be the first challenger. If you wanna, if you wanna make Gunther look more stronger than he already is, righting a wrong that he's had, his only blemish, would make sense as his first, his first defense.
Well, I mean, considering, they're not having, Sammy just, lost his title, so he's not exactly in the highest of spirits to, be demanding a title match against anybody. I see Pierce.
I'm the only guy that beat you. I want a shot at that. Title.
Nah, he's not getting a title shot because him and Jay about to face the Judgment Day for the tag title. That's that part. There is that part.
I see something more along the lines of Adam Pierce pointing it out and making it a match. Not necessarily Sam challenging, because as far as we know, Sammy might think
it's gotta be a stud there.
More. Gunther, he ended the record-breaking reign. Does he indulge his ego and take another crack at it, especially after Gunther riding the wave of momentum. By the way, I believe Randy is going to be traded for Jay, and Jay will be on SmackDown after Survivor Series, so he can be part of the bloodline.
Okay. What about you, Kaliko? What did you think of Damian Priest as the champion?
Personally, I think it served its purpose, to be quite honest. And most people think like, oh my God, it wasn't lackluster. The point of him winning the title was for the fact that this needed to happen. That betrayal needed to happen because Damien is looking at it as they need me more so than I need them, right?
Right.
So that standoffishness that comes with being a champion. And of course he slipped the tongue, but Finn wasn't buying it, and it cost him. So to me, his title run was solid. I mean, he won it at Mania over Drew. He beat Seth. He's had some formidable challenges. I just think right when he got to get in that groove with Gunther, that's when Finn turns on him. So it further develops him as a character, right? Because when you think about the Judgment Day from WrestleMania to now, they were in this weird dichotomy as they're a heel group, but they got two people that are getting cheered like a motherfucker. So you see what I'm saying? So the belt enhanced and endeared him to the crowd, right?
Right.
So that and that is where I think it was a success. Because keep in mind, he was always meant to be a face.
Right.
He just got lost in the sauce.
I definitely don't think it was a great run. I do think that it was, the run was to get him to transition him to a face, which they successfully did. And now, honestly, low-key, I think Damian Priest might be a contender to win the Royal Rumble in 2025. Just my opinion. Alright, and that brings us to our last match. Cody Rhodes defeated Solo Sikoa and Bloodlines Rules match to retain the undisputed WWE Championship. I cannot really give this match a proper review. I saw bits and pieces of it. Like I said, my stream was fucking terrible. It was at its peak during this match, so I couldn't necessarily. I had to. The stream would drop. I would have to go back in. I didn't know where my place was in the match. It kept freezing. The only good part was that I saw the triumphant return of All Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, costing Solo Sikoa the match. That was the absolute shits, if I'm being honest. And just every look, everything Roman did in that moment was so methodical. It was so perfectly intentional. Yeah, that was fantastic. I couldn't necessarily tell you a lot about the match itself. Scooter.
Again, the match itself was a little bit of a letdown. Again, what I'm doing is you're using the same. Not only are you doing the same type of match, but you're using the same stipulation as the main event. Which, if you know one of the unwritten rules of booking, it's you never really try to do, two of the same stipulations so close together. I assume they made it that way so a few more people could think that maybe Solo had a chance. Solo never had a chance going into this.
Yeah.
It wasn't a clusterfuck of running. which was appreciated. Uh, Roman's return, you know, enter, wreck shit, leave. And the fact that he's looking back and he's coming to the realization that he just helped Cody win, which, you know, Roman's newfound understanding is, again, it's a welcome pace, and again, Roman gets the baby face turn without having to do a damn thing.
Dominic had it, was a heel that made a heel turn, and Roman was a face. Oh, was a heel that made a face turn without doing anything.
The only thing I could think of to improve it would have been if it was preceded with, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Heyman, and, you know, because, you know, Paul Heyman is going to want revenge too.
Is it maybe too soon to bring Paul Heyman back? I mean, they like literally murdered him in Madison Square Garden.
Oh no, they could probably at least till, you know, Bad Blood. But, you know, this makes me think, if they aren't putting, you know, mention the likelihood of Bloodline versus Bloodline in War Games, and I don't know if Jimmy Uso would be a wise decision to have a match. Jay would, Sammy would, but who would a fourth be? Well, you might as well get another Heyman guy. Why not put Punk in?
That might be something down the line. There's a lot of dynamics to play with. You know, the fact that, and if you saw SmackDown last night, you know, Roman didn't waste any time talking. It was almost as if he's saying, I'm gonna keep doing this until you learn your lesson, until you learn your place. And the fact that, you know, Roman's new phrase is over the counter. I'm sorry, I meant original private as opposed to, you know, extra crispy. You know, and I also keep thinking that you know, that necklace of flowers that you will see there, I keep thinking that's a friggin' necklace of, like, red chili peppers. Oh yeah. That's honestly what I thought it was.
I mean, if compared to everything, looking at just this match, this one, Cody and Solo, I hate to say it, was the worst match of the night. Now, it's not a classic. It wasn't bad either. It falls in the middle for me. So I think I'm being nice in giving it a 3.5. The fact that it ends following only a single crossroads kinda hurts Cody a little bit, since we're always so used to him doing 3, in this feud. But either way, 3.5 bonus points for Roman doing what we all want to see him do, without needlessly providing expedition to get there.
It's always loud when he does the ooh-ah, and it was exceptionally loud when he did the ooh-yah that night. Kaliko.
Hell yeah, it was. That 57,000 sounded like 170,000. It was like, holy shit. Bro, when that music hit, we were like, oh. I mean, to be fair, I didn't think he was coming. I thought it'd be Jimmy fucking it up. But if you're going to make that kind of an interference, it has to be the tribal chief. And I get why they did a Bloodlines rules match. It's because if you look at it from Solo's perspective, he was trying to do what Roman couldn't do, if that makes sense.
Right.
So that's why now the match itself, yeah, I get it. It wasn't like Mania, but the intent to show not only am I better, I'm gonna do something that he couldn't do, and that's beat you in the match that he set up, if that makes sense.
No, I get it.
So that's where I think what they were going to. The match itself, was it his best match? No, it's Cody carrying Solo, who really, I mean, he's probably like a year and a half or 2 from being in this position again, to be quite honest. But it did what it needed to do with the story. And don't forget, Roman looked at Cody like, man, I got some family business to handle, but I'm gonna come back again, motherfucker.
Yes.
So don't let that be a dipper in your hole, as we could see a Cody Roman 3.
Right.
With that being said, the match itself is roughly 3. The story itself is a 5. So I have to give it a 4.
Okay, if we're doing match, sure.
I mean, overall, it's the average of the 2.
I'm not going to rate the match, for the simple fact that I didn't see enough of it. I wouldn't want to necessarily give it a rating if I wasn't a fair, assumption.
Bullshit! You never saw an AEW match and you call it drizzling shit, smoke.
No, when I don't watch an AEW match, I say I give it 2 fast forward bars. So, this was actually good shit. This was shit I wanted to see, but wasn't kind of able to see under the conditions that the circumstances I was under. So yeah, I will give it a not available for the moment. Maybe sometime down the line, I will rate it if I ever see the match. If these Olympics ever stop. Alright, Scooter, the show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs up.
Kaliko.
Show thumbs up, city thumbs down.
Kaliko turn and heel on Cleveland. Yeah, I give this thumbs up as well. Alright, that will conclude our coverage of SummerSlam 2024 and this episode as a whole. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this is sponsored by Rose Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Leon Safer, this Wednesday as we interview Lucy Ramon. Join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Xthread and Twitter. Xthread and Instagram. Yeah, that's right. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
Follow me at I am Kaliko Chronicles for SummerSlam coming soon.
And where can we find Spittle?
As always, find me on X at SpeedUp. Keep an eye out on social media for any upcoming news regarding
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.